Hey, welcome to the Bodies Built Better podcast. I'm your host, Jackie Chan, and welcome. If you are here for the first time, I appreciate you. And if you're back, thank you so much for supporting this show. I appreciate you. This show is all about human performance, and performance means different things to different people. But I want to make sure that what we cover, is basically as much as possible. We look at the science-backed as well as the stuff that's yet to be proved by science. I truly believe there is so much ground to cover, and I want to make sure that we bring to you all the different topics and themes so you can make well-informed decisions and even pique your curiosity, make you think about the things maybe you haven't thought about before. Anything to help you get that edge on your performance. And today on the episode, I am chatting with you. Yes, it's me and you. Not long ago, I spoke about how my way of dealing with, post quitting my career of nearly 17 years was trusting myself. And with that comes also trusting the process. Now, I truly believe that you can't go trusting the process without trusting yourself. So if you haven't heard that episode, maybe listen to that one first, because that's going to be a game changer, but also actually just really a nice foundation to build from into this episode. So why is trusting the process really important? For me, I believe that when we commit to trusting the process, we take away the need for immediate results, immediate answers. It helps us improve our patience and potentially that delayed gratification that we're so used to getting, because everything is instant these days and we don't need to wait for anything, because you could click your fingers and literally something is there for you, whether it is a delivery service from your app on your phone or whatever it is. Things are just so easy to come by these days. So trusting the process helps you build that patience again, because things that are worth having and worth building are also worth waiting for. Now, I'm totally not saying that all you need to do is just sit and wait. It's not what I'm saying. Of course, there are things and actions that you can take in order to move you closer to the thing that you ultimately want, that vision that you're building. But sometimes it's hard to know what that grand vision is. And so trusting that what you're doing and the process it takes to get there is key to letting go of anxiety, letting go of the pressure of knowing, of having something right away, of having to explain everything that you do and have answers for everything you do. Sometimes in order to move forward, all you need to do is take that one step. If that's the only step you know how to take that. Take it with gusto. Move in a way that helps you build creativity and spark, because when you move in that direction, you'll then create momentum. So it's not necessary at all times to have this extraordinary motivation for something, but it is necessary to have an understanding of what is needed in that moment to create momentum. So if that thing that you need in that moment is to take action, then go forth, my friend. But sometimes it's not always about the action. Sometimes it is actually about inaction. It is about stopping. It is about nurturing. It is about reflecting. It is about planning. It can be all the different things. So when you allow yourself to trust the process, you give back to you. You give back to you by doing all the things I just mentioned. But also, when you trust the process, you're not likely to make rash decisions, to go into things quickly because of fear. When we allow ourselves to trust the process, when we allow ourselves to trust ourselves, what we need in that moment, and the process, it allows us to, I guess, open up our mental space, that mental capacity to accept what is. And then I believe it then opens our headspace to different opportunities that are out there. Because when we trust the process, we're not making rash decisions in order to push ourselves in a place that we think we need to be or we want to be. And I think when we make really rash decisions, sometimes they're just not the best for us because they're made out of fear. Now, I completely understand that, sometimes it's absolutely necessary. Do what you need to do. But in the process, I think it's really important to take a step back and honor what you need, honor what the people around you need, whether it is, a spouse, partner, kids, family, whatever it is. I think obviously it is incredibly important to be understanding the needs of everyone, but also I'll caveat that with saying at the end of the day, your needs are also really important and they matter. And so if your needs aren't being met because you're continually putting others' needs before your own, how long can you go like that? How long will you last before, things start to feel, actually, not that they start to feel, but you could potentially start to feel resentment. And we all know that resentment isn't the best place to be. Because when you start to resent your situation or others around you, you're not able to put your best foot forward or your best self forward. And it's kind of a downhill from there, which is quite the opposite of what we want for ourselves and what we want out of life. So whilst I get there is always something, there's always, there are important things that need to be thought of and taken care of, just know that you also need to take care of you too. So making sure that balance, however possible, is as close to equilibrium is going to be different for everyone. And, the other thing about that is that it doesn't have to be, forever. So what I mean by that is if you're making a decision based on your circumstances and everything that's happening around you and for people around you and for your family, and it's not the decision that you want to make, and if you put a time frame on that, put an expiry on that, that can help you move through that time frame. That can help you move forward without that resentment building, without being negative and pulled down because you've had to make a choice that simply isn't the choice that you wanted to make. So that could be a way of getting through that as well. But back to trusting the process. If you're in a position where you can, either take a step back and just let things go the way, they're wanting to go and wanting to flow, then that can be a beautiful way of allowing things to come in for you. So I'm going to talk about some strategies that can help you trust the process a little bit more. And the first one is something that you will hear time and time again. And there's a very good reason for it. It is because it works. And it is such a beautiful way to change your entire state of being. It's gratitude. Having a gratitude practice can be a game changer in your outlook to life. When you're able to appreciate all of the little things, all the big things, all the things in between, all the things that you've forgotten about, when you're able to appreciate all of that, it's like collecting bits of treasure and keeping a little treasure trove of incredible, big, small, beautiful, sideways, up and down gratitude nuggets of gold. And with that, I mean, like I said, it changes your state of being. And when you change your state of being, I truly believe you become a magnet for positivity and spreading good vibes everywhere you go. And who doesn't want to spread good vibes? And who doesn't want to be around someone who is spreading good vibes? So the second thing, in order to trust the process, is making sure that you're actually learning from the lessons. If you're like me, I kind of like to just forget about all the things I've done in the past and lock that away and try not to remember them, even if they were amazing and even if they, well, especially if they weren't so great. I kind of like never want to think about those things again. But it's really important to reflect on those moments and those experiences and learn from them. There's so many valuable insights that you can gain from your past experiences. So whilst some of them may be really painful to think back on, try to find the silver lining. Try to find the lesson. Try to find the reason that happened, it turned out the way it did. When you look for those lessons, it really gives you a better understanding of, one, how to deal with it in future, and two, how you could avoid it in the future, or maybe just helps you to appreciate that moment in time, who you were in that moment, and actually how far you've grown since. So learning from your past, whether you want to say mistakes, downfalls, highs and lows, all those experiences can really help you move forward. The next thing that I always try to do, no matter any time in my life really, is challenge myself and learn something new. And I find that when I do those things, it really helps my creativity. And there's nothing that really, I guess, lights my fire or sets my soul on fire when I can get creative. I have to admit, I'm a little bit of a dreamer. So in those moments, I guess you could potentially call it a flow state, but when I'm in it, I can really think outside the box. I really try and innovate and get creative and think of all the completely way out there opportunities or ideas that actually just help inspire me to move forward and think differently. So when I'm being challenged or when I'm learning something new, it really opens that room or that headspace up for creativity. And I really love going into that place. So challenge yourself and learn something new and see how that opens your mind up. Now, as I said before, trusting the process doesn't mean sitting back and doing nothing. If you have big dreams, then write them down, visualize them. How big can they get? Do you give yourself the time and opportunity to really sit down and visualize what it is you want for yourself? Daring to dream and giving yourself the permission to think big and think of all the big, beautiful possibilities out there allows you to bring clarity to what it is that you want and those goals, and actually helps you set smaller milestones and helps you guide yourself towards that beautiful end vision. And not only that, of course, it ignites that fire within. So when you have this big, bold, beautiful vision of what you want, you can reverse engineer that, take smaller steps backwards. And, as you move forward through those, trusting the process means if something doesn't go the way you think it will, allow yourself to let that take you where it does go. So I think that's a really beautiful way to open your mind up again to the different possibilities in order to achieve your goals, because you can have the most incredible vision and think of one path of getting there, but really there's so many more than just that one path to get there. So be open to detouring to your grand vision. And the last one that I'm going to give you today is control the controllables. Self-explanatory, right? There's no point on worrying about all the things that you have no control over. So when you feel yourself getting anxious around waiting, around all the things that aren't happening for you, take a breath, take a step back, and take a moment to remember all the things that are in your control. When we bring our attention back to ourselves, back to our actions, our attitudes, our choices, we're actually giving ourselves back the power to move forward and to create our own outcomes. And not only that, it allows us, more importantly, to let go of that unnecessary stress and free us up for all the good things that are open to coming our way. So I'm going to leave it there with you, but I do have some more incredible strategies that can help you in trusting the process. Head over to the blog on the website, jackytan.com, and check them out, because it's not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is really not easy, especially when when you feel like you're up against the wall, when you feel like you don't have any choices, you don't know what to do, you're needing to make a decision or choose a direction in which to go in, and it can all feel a bit much. So I really understand that and I really empathize with that. So head over to the website, check out the other strategies. Let me know what you think and how you go with them. There are so many other strategies out there as well. This is not an exhaustive list, but it is certainly one to get you started in hopefully what will help you trust a little bit more in you and the process. If this episode has helped you, has resonated with you, please like it if you're watching on YouTube, review it if you are listening to it on the podcast. Everything helps this podcast keep growing strong. As always, I think you're awesome. You're doing awesome. Stick with it, and I'm really cheering you on. Head over to Instagram if you want to continue this conversation. I would love to connect with you. Once again, I appreciate you. Have the best day, week, month, and year. Stay awesome, and I'll catch you next time.